Behind me, I have Porsche's least expensive car in their lineup. This is a 2021 Porsche Macan, and as it is their least expensive car, you may be wondering, well, what do you get in Porsche's least expensive car? This car behind me is, this with after options and everything, is at $66,000, which is apparently cheap for Porsche. Yeah, I'm gonna take you around this Macan and show you what you get for the cheapest Porsche in their lineup. What did they cheap out on, and what did they do really well on? Well, that's what we're gonna find out in this video. This is Shep's Tech Cars, and I hope you guys do enjoy this video. First off, with a little PSA, this is a brand new 2021 Porsche Macan. They start around $59,000, $60,000, and after options, they come around $66,000, $60,000. This was the base Macan model, which I'm reviewing as well. However, used, these things you can find as cheap as $35,000 with some miles on them. Nicer ones go for around 45 used, and higher trims go for around 50, and then brand new is 66 grand. So I kind of want to say that because I didn't want to say that this is Porsche's cheapest car because I know 66 is a lot of money, but I'm saying is like this is really their cheapest car in their lineup. So with that out of the way, let's get on with this search on what they did well and what they cheaped out on, and what do you get for the cheapest Porsche. Let's start off with the interior. Before we get on with the interior, I want to talk about the design of this car. I have to say, even though this is the cheapest Porsche, I think this is the best looking SUV in their lineup. I'm not too big of a fan of the Cayenne. I think this is really boring. I like sporty, small, nippy, good handling SUVs, and that's what this car offers. I definitely love like the coupe like design almost, and I definitely like how just how sporty this car looks. I mean, this isn't a real Porsche. However, Porsche's still trying to make it really good looking and sporty looking for their cheapest model. I love the side profile of this car. I just think it looks so unique. I mean, come on. I mean, I love the look of that side profile, especially with these wheels and the black paint. Front, it definitely looks like the newer Cayenne. However, it looks very aggressive at the front and like very sporty and agile looking. I think they wouldn't really usually would call a car handsome, but this car is definitely very handsome and very good looking. So looks, no matter if you go with the 2015 or 2021 or a brand new 2018, it is definitely, all models of this car are very, very good looking. Here, they did not cheap out on anything. Even though this is the base Macan model, they did not cheap out anything, even on a base model. And that just shows how Porsche really just values their cars and builds their cars. They want them to be, even if you buy the cheapest model, you still want to have a good car, and I definitely like that inside. Now also on to the inside of the car. Now, starting out just by the looks of it, the inside, obviously, it looks very, very Porsche-esque, as you can see. However, there are a couple of bad points in here, or I won't call them bad, but there are a couple of corner cuts that Porsche took in here, as this is a base Macan model. There are a couple of scratchy plastics in some visible places. One of them is by the seat. Now, in normal Porsches, I believe this is just like kind of like this type of material. It's like this like soft type of material, or maybe it's smoothened out plastic, more higher quality, kind of like this stuff in the center console right here. But this is more scratchy plastic, so that's kind of a bad point there. It kind of makes it feel very cheap. And then over here as well, this is also very scratchy, and that's also kind of visible as well. So I mean, that's kind of a downside there, but I don't know. I believe this is upgraded in the upper models like the Macan S or the GTS, but correct me if I'm wrong in the description down below. I'm honestly curious if this is upgraded, if this is upgradable in like some interior plus package. Let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, a couple of cheap plastics is kind of a, well, corner cut that Porsche did take. Corner cut they didn't take are these seats, which are very, very comfortable. I mean, let's just step inside here. This is Porsche's cheapest car, and I am just very comfortable in here. I mean, just take a, these seats are, I believe these are leatherette, I do believe, with perforated leather in the middle, and they are very comfortable. I mean, Porsche seats are always, I think, the most comfortable, and definitely the bolstering is also very great. You do have a lot of adjustability within the seat, so you can change your lumbar, change how far the seat goes up and down, and you can even change, which is really cool, you don't get a lot of this in newer cars, your thigh extension. So this that comes out further, and so your feet or your thighs are a lot more comfortable in the seat. So seats are very, very comfortable. They're heated and also ventilated, which is also very, very nice. That is, I believe that is an option, but yeah, they're heated and ventilated. I believe these seats are upgraded with the ventilated compatibility, but I've sat in the normal Macan with not ventilated seats, and it basically feels just the same. You're not really missing anything, but having the ventilation is very, very nice. Also, these seats are also very, very good looking. I definitely love the pattern and the stitching in the seat. So seats, they did not cheap out on those, obviously. 10 out of 10 for the seats. Good job, Porsche, on the seats. Door panel, it is very nice. It's very good looking. It does have some sort of kind of weak points here and there, but again, you're not really touching the door panel that much. It's mainly just for looks. So the only part I really do care about is the padding up on the door, and they did a very good job with that as well. Now let's move on to the, driver position. Now, one thing I love about Porsches is how driver focused they mainly are. So as you can see with this interior, I mean, it is very driver focused. You have this airplane cockpit style center console like in the 911 and 718s. You have this nice, very long, big cockpit-like dashboard, and you also have your dials and your nice steering wheel also facing you as well. So it's very more driver-focused, but also it has some of that compatibility for your passengers as well, which, again, I really do like. That is very, very nice. So the interior look of this car as well is very, very good. I mean, brand new, $66,000, but again, even if you go with the 2014 or 2015, you will have a little bit of a dated infotainment system, but that's mainly the only change they did for this car. So they didn't really change that much for 2021. But other than that, I mean, this interior looks very, very, very good. I love the look of this interior. It does look very, very Porsche. They still try to make it look like a Porsche, and it does. And I really love the look of this interior. So they definitely did not cheap out on anything of the looks in the interior. One thing I have to say I'm really disappointed about, and one thing they did cheap out on, is the engine sound. Now, this is a base 2021 Porsche Macan, which up front has a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with 248 brake horsepower, which I thought, I mean, again, it is the base Macan, so it's not supposed to, I was like, oh, that's not a lot of horsepower, but at least if it doesn't have a lot of horsepower, it should sound pretty good, right? Well, I was kind of wrong. So let's just go ahead and start it up for the first time. Not for the first time, but let's go ahead and start it up. So again, this is a Porsche. So just to remind you, this is a Porsche. So all you have to do, put your foot on the brake, it is keyless, and flip the switch on the side. I don't know about you, but so far, it doesn't sound very good. I'm kind of sorry. So, let's let it warm up, and let's hear what this thing mainly sounds like. Because, honestly, I'm kind of skeptical it's not going to sound good. It doesn't. Right, it is warm, so let's give this thing a couple revs. So that's like the normal comfort mode. For a Porsche, it doesn't sound, honestly, it doesn't sound great. It's sort of decent, but for a Porsche, not great at all. However, this car does have the sport buttons. We push this, the engine valves open, and it should put out a louder sound in theory. So let's try the sport mode. So a couple of pops and bangs, a couple of little bit of burbles and pops. Honestly, I mean, it's good, but not great. I would say it's more decent than good. So I think that's definitely one thing they didn't really focus on. Again, they did do a couple of burbles and pops out of the exhaust, which is nice, but I feel like they just hooked up a laptop and they told it to do that. So again, it's not like the pure engine sound compared to 911s and Caymans, but I kind of get that. This is Porsche's base car. They do have to take some corner cuts, because otherwise they wouldn't be making money if they sell the 911s and GT3s and things like that. However, you can get this car with an upgraded V6 and then the GTS, I mean, a higher horsepower V6, so it can sound even better. So that's just the base Macan engine. So it sounds decent, but again, it's mainly more for the luxury aspects than for, well, the performance. I do definitely want to talk about this infotainment system. It is great. It's the exact same infotainment system you get in all new Porsches. No matter if you buy a Taycan, a 911, or a Panamera, you get this in brand new infotainment system. And I actually do really like it. It's very responsive and it's very, very easy to use. I have no really major problems at all with it. I don't really have any problems with the infotainment system. I think it's very easy to use. It's super understandable, and really it's very configurable with things. So infotainment system, you're really getting what your money's worth for the infotainment system. Down here you have basically your airplane cockpit. You can basically control anything from your air conditioning, your temperature, your heated and ventilated seat options, your sport mode, your traction control off, your off-road mode, which basically makes it so you can go off-road, your active lane assist, which is also really nice, and your auto start stop. All your zones for your air conditioning. So overall, a lot of configurability, and you still have all that quality in here. I mean, all this is very high quality plastic and metal and things like that. However, you still do get blank switches in it. There's 7 in total blank switches, which means you didn't get all the options, which is probably a reminder to spend more money on this car. So that's just a reminder. Take a look at the back seat of the Macan as I locked myself out of the door here. Unlock, there we go. So, back seat of the Macan. So, I am currently 5'3", that's my driving position. I am perfectly very comfortable. Back seat, definitely very comfortable. I really like this backseat of this car, which is why it's my favorite Porsche SUV. Everything is really high quality back here. I think it's a little bit better than an Audi Q5 or a BMW X3. Definitely, or Volvo XC60. I just think it's more cooler looking back here. It's also way more comfortable than an XC60. The seats are still have that perforated Napa perforated leather effect on the perforated effect. It is leather. You do have a center console with cup holders, so you can easily get comfortable on back here for a road trip. So you're really not missing out on much. If you go with an older one, the only difference with the newer ones is that some of the trim is newer, and as well as believe this is also new. But again, if you go with an older one, all of this is made the same, except that infotainment system up there and the light bar in the back. Other than that, everything's mainly just the same. So no matter if you go with the 2015 or a brand new one, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about is going to be the same. So back seat, they did not cheap out anything back here. I don't see any quality issues back here either. I mean, I'm kind of just touching everything right now. But yeah, same story up here. Scratchy plastics, but again, you're not really going to touch that. But overall, back here as well, I feel like back here is also scratchy plastic. They could have like wrapped this either in leather or put the effect up on the dashboard over here as well, or on the side door here. This is all wrapped in leather. So far, back seat, very, very good. Now let's take a look at the final thing, the trunk in this car. So, you can see you don't get this giant rear light bar in the back, unfortunately, on the older models. In 2018 was their last model year without the light bar. In 2019 was their first year with the light bar. But I definitely think the light bar is a very cool looking effect. It makes this car look a lot better. But again, no matter if you go with an older one or a new one, they both definitely look the same. Now you open up the trunk by pressing a button up here. And as you can see, it opens up to reveal a lot of space. So this is actually a very good amount of space. You do have a lot of you have a side pocket there. So, and there is your spare wheel, which is red for some reason. Apparently, it's because Porsche, you're ashamed and popping your tire or something like that. But anyways, trunk space is very good back here. It's like a normal small SUV, and I think definitely back here, trunk space they did not skimp you out on. You can also fold these seats down. Let me just fold one down for you to show you what it looks like with the seat folded down. So there's a seat folded down. So yeah, that's what, if that's a good envision of what the seat looks like folded down, definitely a lot of room in the back of this car. Porsche's cheapest car, the 2021 Macan. I honestly think, I'm going to mark my word by saying this, I'm going to put my foot down and say this is the best bang for your buck luxury SUV, used or new, you can buy right now. I'm gonna put that out there. You can argue with me in the comment section down below. This one is the best. I reviewed a lot of small luxury SUVs. I reviewed an XC60, I reviewed an Audi Q5, and I've also did a review on an X3 before. I rode in that before, and I mean, they're nice, but they don't have character. This car has a lot of character and sportiness, and I definitely do like that. Sure, the engine isn't great, and sure, the quality, some of the quality parts aren't great either. But for the bang for your buck, 40 grand for a Porsche SUV? I don't know about you, but when I'm older, if you see me in one of these, don't be surprised. Anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. We are so close to 200 subscribers, so if we do get there, as I said, I am unveiling something I'm going to do in my videos, which I would not wait to show you. However, I can't show you until we get to 200 subscribers. So smash that subscribe button if you are new. I'm going to do a lot of these types of videos in the future. So with that said, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.